We got Coldplay playing in the building. Welcome back to the Bell Center for Game 5. And the cup is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We dropped the first game of the series. We win 3 straight. Never look back. From that point onward, Jordan Binnington, he's done everything he can to keep the Blues in the games in this series. I'm going to need a little bit more out of Zach Fucale, but there's been a few reasons why the save percentage for Fucale is where it is. He just needs to be good enough in this game. So like I said, we dropped the first game in this series. I was a little bit nervous coming out of that first game. We are having a tough time, a battle trying to get that puck in. Frantic start. And do the Blues have reinforcements? Jaskin's been stood up at the blue line by Mark Stahl. Do the Blues have some reinforcements? And we'll touch on that in a moment as Fucale does get the quick cover on the puck. A little bit of action going on after the whistle. I can't do anything about it because the game gave me control of Fucale with him smothering that puck and getting that whistle. So the Blues do have, they have the player with the last name Scott in their lineup. He was a big part of their success, I guess. He's been pretty successful in this series at generating chances for the Blues. Might have a goal or two as well, but whatever line he's on has been very successful. I think he's scratched. So I don't know who that player is, but his last name is Scott. I think the Blues they were missing a key player in their lineup. There's a blocker save from Jordan Binnington, and I think they've got a player returning from injury, but I don't have a further report on that. We just keep shooting the puck from the blue line. Line A is on it, out to center ice, intercepted by Severson off the missed pass. Line A re-intercepts for the Blues. A bunch of missed passes happening everywhere between these two squads. Tamernas digs it in deeper. Perfect feed to Monahan. You just can't miss. And he did not. That is a wonderful start to the game. Binnington very upset. Crybaby Binnington. All right, let's seal the deal. Let's finish this right here. Don't give the Blues any second life in this series. The Blues never want to see the Canadiens again in the GM mode, ever. Reinhart, there it is. So Reinhart is back in the lineup. He's taking the face-off right now. He loses it to Matt Duchene. So Reinhart was the injured player who returns to the lineup. Some reinforcement for St. Louis. Will it matter in this game? Played back freely to Hedman at the point, but he's offside. I don't know if Reinhart will make a difference, but that's a big add for St. Louis. They had to scratch somebody, and I guess Scott is the man he is the odd man out, essentially. So that'll be something to pay attention to as this game slugs along. Into the corner for Weiss. Blues are still tagging up, so that gives us so much time on the breakout. We're going to find Kamayev. I'm going to do my drop pass, which of course basically is a turnover, but the problem is the player's momentum. I touched on this in the last game. I think it was the last game, one of the games in St. Louis. The player's momentum keeps carrying him forward when I do that drop pass. Okay, well, I think it's Max Weiss. Yes, it is. Yeah, things got a little bit out of control. He's just trying to set the tone, send the message. He gets into Perron. Perron sells. I think Perron sells it. That's a dive. 1 for interference, 2 for embellishment as well. So take both guys on that one. That's my take on that entire play. So we're going to get tested with a PK. I forgot, by the way, that we had an interesting first game. Did we not have a competitive first game? Matt Duchene pulling out all the stops. Multiple dekes in a row. Kudrwinski's try is denied. The fans in the Bell Center give a loud roar of applause to the Habs penalty killers early in this game, going for their chances shorthanded. There's an opportunity before Hedman took him out of the play. This should be Duchene's puck. He's so fast. Oh, Duchene, man, Duchene is feeling it. Oh, Duchene knows the cup is there to be won. He is no stranger to these situations with this Montreal Canadiens team. He knows the job needs to be finished when you can. Conclude this right here. Pacioretty, side of the net opportunity. Damon Severson banked out in. Oh, Pietrangelo has tied the game on a weird angle shot from the blue line, essentially, near the boards. That should never beat Fucale clean. It's his first of the playoffs. It's a power play goal. We try to clear, failing attempt on the clear. I don't know if this it handcuffs Fucale on its way in. Watch Zach Fucale attempt to make the save. He's making a mid-save adjustment. Well, there was never any save. There was an attempt at a save. And that's about all that I can say for Zach Fucale on that play. So the Blues are not going to go. They're not going to go away quietly, and we certainly expected this in this series. However, that's a goal that's on the goaltender. I talked about Fucale just needing to be better. That's not better. In fact, that's worse. That's one of the worst goals I've seen a goaltender give up in this series. Kamaya pinned to the boards, kept in. No, out of reach for Weiss, who was, of course, in the box for that goal that Pietrangelo just scored. And there's a hooking penalty to his D partner Begris. So both defensemen on this pair have taken a penalty in this game. Shot from the blue line, handled with ease that time by Zachary Fucale. And the penalty killers are going to get tested again. We looked really good on that penalty kill in the first half of that penalty kill with that chance between Duchesne and Kujawenski, if you look back on that sequence. So Tarasenko draws the hook. We should have this locked in the bag right here, Montreal. I'm drinking coffee out of a Canadian flag mug, essentially, which is it's a tourist item that I bought in Canada once upon a time. That's why I have it. I've talked about this story many times in the past. This is a goal. Oh, come on. Pacioretty hit the outside of the net. There was plenty of room. So much room there on that side of the net. I don't know how you miss it. You could start a storage space business on that side of the net. There was so much room. You could store an entire house's worth of items in that net. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just don't know how he missed this. The commentary has gone off the rails already. Clearly, I haven't had enough coffee this morning for this game, and maybe we won't lift the cup in this one if I don't get my act together. My brain is not firing right now at all. The mouth is moving, but the words are not making sense. And I said was it one of the last gameplays, I said I felt really good about my commentary. I did that last night. I recorded the previous game last night that we won in St. Louis. Game 4 was done last evening, and I was feeling good about that gameplay. So we're on this with the penalty killers. Saucer pass. I didn't need to do a deke. It actually slowed Kujawenski down, but he does one fake bump to the outside. I continue the trend we had in St. Louis. We were glitzing and glamoring our way around the rink at the Scott Trade Center around these Blues defenders. Hedman with a shove to free that puck for Severson to get the clear out to center ice. That should be the end of the Blues power play. The man advantage goes by the wayside. Max Pacioretty, you really put Victor Hedman in a pickle on this one. Severson, no matter, has possession over for Hedman. Some miscommunication on that play. Hedman, headman up to Monahan, dumped in on goal with a pressure from Ristolainen, and we had to get that puck back in. Good forecheck here from Monahan. He forced that puck further back in. We'll continue to hound him on the boards. Niederreiter, Toey behind the net. Get out of my way, Sean Monahan. I'm trying to create offense. LeBlanc for the touch on the back door. It misses. Kicked out right to the stick of Perron. A favorable play for Perron. Okay, and we'll twist that along the boards. We should be able to saucer that out to center ice. There it is. LeBlanc, it's on the tape. He'll move, interchange with his teammate. Between the legs, Deke. Fed along for Stromwall, who I don't think was reading me on that play. He'd read that poorly. First grade reading skills on that play. Gonna saucer this. It'll hit the back of the net. Begris was taken out illegally from behind the plays. Behind Stromwall for the touch on St. Louis. It'll be a power play now to Montreal. So the power plays have gone both ways in this game. This is a big time to strike. I think the man advantage has been pretty poor. I wish the game would pull up the numbers for the playoffs on the power play. It would be cool if they would show us those kind of stats. This is a game from 2014, so I can't be too. I mean, I can't criticize it. Sometimes I criticize this game like it's a game that the EA Sports is going to fix for the next yearly release. Like, oh, fix this for NHL 15. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I'm just helping. Listen, Zach Fucale, I'm just helping out your save percentage for this game, buddy. I'm doing you a favor. Does that count as a shot on goal? If your teammate's the serious question, if you shoot the puck on your teammate, does it count as a shot on goal on your goaltender? I mean, he had to make the save. Back to the point, Kujawenski. Tamernis, get through the seam. Shooting. Yep, just take the shot. Niederreiter on the rebound. Shattenkirk will clear on the backhand. We have this with Kujawenski. I'm going to bank it. Brassard It floats. It is knocked down. Pietrangelo will drop it back. Why would you drop it backwards into your own zone, Pietrangelo? These are some strange penalty-killing tactics. I don't know what they teach these guys in St. Louis. I don't know what they teach us. They teach us how to draw penalties. It is a charge, no doubt about it. This is... Ooh, who's wearing the A? Number 32 wearing the A. This is Sam Reinhart. Welcome to the lineup. That's why I had no idea who that is. He just got into the lineup for this game. He's trying to settle the score physically in this game. Get the St. Louis Blues back in the series. They need it. They need help any way they can get it. And I guess if it takes Sam Reinhart, playing like he does with the Florida Panthers during his Florida Panthers days here in the real world. Back to the point. I wanted to get it back to the point. Risto will clear pretty easily down the rink. Struggling power play. These have been, I think the power play has definitely been an issue through this playoffs, not just this round, but all playoffs long. We've had a pretty weak power play. This should strike a lot more fear into opposing teams than it currently actually does. There it is. Patch ready. Okay, that's fine. Back down low. LeBlanc. Interchange. Patch ready. Intercepted my pass. Go down low. Go back door. There is a big save. They're going to wave off the goal. I think it went into the net, but we ran into Bennington as well. Interference. Matt Duchene. The puck is definitely over the goal line. Huge save with the dive by Bennington to deny the chance from LeBlanc. I wanted an overhead view of that play, but the game did not think that I deserved one. I missed that pass totally. Totally missed that pass for Niederreiter. That's the only risk with a saucer pass is... If you miss, it's hard to aim the saucer pass, and if you miss, it's pretty bad. But if you put it on the tape, it's satisfying. Like right there, that was a saucer pass right to Niederreiter, and he will cut back, spinorama, no look pass. Oh man, that was sweet. That was a nice no look pass, trying to set up Sean Monahan. Truly wide of the net there, golfed out to center ice by Tamertis. The smart play by the defenseman. And with these sliders, I've had probably some of the best, most competitive gameplay I could have ever asked for against the AI. We're going to perhaps ramp it up a notch when we get to next year's playoff run. If we can make the playoffs for Season 12, I'm going to bump up the player acceleration for both teams to the maximum value for next year. For the next time we make the playoffs, there should be another playoff run in store for these Canadiens before this GM mode comes to a close. We got a while still yet to go on this GM mode. That backdoor pass is off target. Brassard settles that puck for himself. Saucer pass, saucer pass. Everyone was going on a change, both for my team and the Blues on that possession. Laxo's been dealt with by Brassard. Pietrangelo run into, but he absorbed that contact quite neatly. Severson, a touch dangle to the outside, banked out to center ice. Pietrangelo should dump this in eventually. He's under too much pressure. He'll go D-to-D with it. Konopka to Berglund. Berglund will slide it down low behind Fucali. Stahl is to it first. Interrupted briefly by... I don't even know who interrupted Stahl on that play. We have got to focus on getting this puck out to center ice. We do. Teravainen, he's in. Drag, shoots. I don't know if that went 5-hole, but a huge save by Jordan Bennington. He's made a number of them in this game. Try to poke that along. Ratty, the puck's been jarred free. Ratty will go from behind Bennington's net. Long pass finds Yaskin, who dumps it in, or I assume that's Yaskin that has possession. Saucer pass knocked down on the forecheck. Ty Ratty, Yaskin, wide. Floated out to center again. Live to fight another day. That's the momentum. I don't want to give the Blues anything here at the end of the period. Just get the puck out of the zone when you can. One and done possessions. As many as we can. We're battling with Ty Ratty. Hard pass up to Monahan. Kicked wide. LeBlanc. Shoot the puck. Begers is offside with 3 seconds to go. So it's been a bit of a slow developing period for my team and for our offense in this game. Teravainen wasted no time. That was probably the fastest I've ever been able to deke with a player on a breakaway. And we've gotten a ton of breakaways. I forgot to look at that stat in the last game. How many breakaways did we have in St. Louis in the last game? It felt like we had a plethora of them. However, after one period of play, we have a 1-1 game. This is still all to play for. It's anybody's game. And as far as St. Louis sees it, it's anybody's series still. This is not yet over Jordan Binnington has given the Blues all that he can in this game. He's kept them right in it, hoping to keep them in the series as we go on to the second period. Much more competitive period, and unlike the previous 2 games we played there in St. Louis, we are the team out shooting the Blues this time, as opposed to being the team outshot by the Blues. We've held our own so far. We've killed a few penalties off. We've been really just very relaxed. I want to be very relaxed with this game. Don't overdo or overthink anything. If you can get the puck out to center ice, get it out to center ice. Don't spend any more extended time in your D zone than you have to. Sometimes it means you're just going to have to make a sloppy play out to center ice. So Max Pacioretty, there's a toe drag cut across the middle. He's in. A deke into the pads of Binnington. Pacioretty's on this one-handed puck shield. Back to the point, Stahl. Shake down to Pacioretty. Saucer for Duchesne. He's going to receive that on the blade. Back up top for Stahl. He'll try to float it down low. Duchesne. Cut back move. That's a tight twister inside the zone. Intercepted and taken away by the Blues and Ty Ratty, who dumps in from there. The Blues just wanted to get a change. End that possession, get a change. D to D. Stahl banked out to center ice. Penalty. It's line A to the box. Stahl gets up a little slow. He's holding his head. Don't go injuring my best defenseman in this playoffs. Mark Stahl has by far been one of the best defensemen for this team. I mean, you could put his name in the hat for the Conn Smythe Trophy. I think he should earn that consideration. We've had 2 power plays previously and 3 shots. So the power play has not done enough, but I have a trademarked, approach of wanting to be patient on the power play. So we're going to continue my patient approach. I could have taken a shot there, but again, it's all about getting the right look for this team. That's a save from Binnington. We'll play it back down low. Brassard, if you have to poke it just to keep it alive, but Ratty will clear. I needed more aggression from Severson. Try to keep that puck in the zone. So we'll start it and winding it up again. I don't have anyone on the right side. Just take the shot. That'll be blocked. Wrist the line and easy clear off of the Severson shot that was blocked. Nope, you're not getting me. You're not getting me, Reinhart. Let's go. Slow developing power play. More speed. I need more speed. That'll be deflected. Damon Severson with a changing defense. It's LeBlanc off the bench. Shoots. We had a goal off the bench in the last game. Fed in front. Pacioretty with a wide open cage to shoot at again. Cutback move. Going to go inside. Pacioretty scores! There's the power play. 2-1 Habs. That was a really nice ditzy move to get inside positioning on the Blues penalty killers. 9th of the playoffs for Max Pacioretty. He's coming through looking like a superstar even in his later years. That was a nice play. He used his body to shield the puck. I don't know where the aggression was from the Blues penalty killers. You can't let a guy skate into that area that easily if you're St. Louis. Penalty killer or not, your defenders have got to be more aggressive. Take some initiative to take Pacioretty off the puck in that play. I was shocked we got away with as much real estate as we did in front of Jordan Binnington. So I'm going to cut across the middle. There's that net drive. There's a drag shot. Stromwall back up top at the point. Hedman deflected puck. Tarasenko trying to create that 2-on-1. No breakaway happening here. Over the net. Stromwall wins the race to this puck. It's up to Kamaya. Pump fake. There's a deke attempt that didn't lead to anything. Stahl behind the back pass for Hedman. He draws the physical play. Kamaya. We're going to toe drag around this guy. Konopka with the interception. Pavelski. Dumped in. On the boards. Get on the boards, Bertrand. The French sniper. Oh my goodness. Teravainen's wide open in front of the net. And he still comes away with possession. Shattenkirk is on this. Turnover forced off of Teravainen. Gap up. Dumped in on Zach Fucali. Perron. Return feed for Berglund was knocked down, intercepted. This will be Niederreiter spinning off the contact. He goes forehand to backhand, shoots on net. It's a save from Binnington. Yaskin off the bench has intercepted. Battery low. Berglund puts one on the net drive feed. Nino Niederreiter. There's a deke dumped in. Let's get our forechecking legs going. LeBlanc knows what I'm talking about. Niederreiter to one knee, big save. One knee Niederreiter. God, that's a tongue twister for me. Bigris Trying to play golf out here. He was chopping at that puck in front. They do not even connect on the pass. Floated. Oh my God. I'm a genius. I shot that puck down the rink and it went right onto the blade of Nino Niederreiter. He cashes in. We've got the cup, baby. That was a nice drag to get the goal on the breakaway. I think we've just caught the Blues being way too aggressive in this series. How many breakaways and odd man rushes have we generated in this series against St. Louis? They've been an aggressive team. We've cashed in. I don't know what to say. This team's very impressive in a bounce-back playoff run after getting bounced in the Stanley Cup Final in season 9? Yeah, season 9, we get bounced in Game 7 on home ice to the Edmonton Oilers, an embarrassing one. And then knocked out of the first round. Guess what we just did? Created another breakaway for ourselves. We are far and away, it's just a way better team than St. Louis is. We are such a much better team than they are. That's an icing. I kind of milked it. So yes, season 9 loss in Game 7, Stanley Cup Final to Edmonton. I thought there was an injury on this play, and it looks like there is, to Jaden Schwartz. He's going to leave the game, hobbling down the tunnel. And then we get knocked out in the first round to Boston. My first time losing in the first round in the GM mode ever was to Boston. Just couldn't, to simply put, we just couldn't skate with the Bruins at all in that series. So I had to go back to the old sliders with a few tweaks here and there. So there are some tweaks. Oh, I didn't want to accept this fight. I didn't think I was accepting a fight here. Oh, well, I'm going to oblige on the part of, let's give these fans a show. It's the Cup Final. Oh, you're done for. Okay, maybe you're not done for. That's pretty brutal. I got absolutely mogged by Kevin Shattenkirk on that. Well, we're mogging him right back. Who's going to get the takedown? It's going to be Shatter. It's going to be Shattenkirk. He shattered Brassard's face in that fight. That was a great tilt, honestly. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Would do it again. Well, for the Blues, it's been a one-sided series. It's been a one-sided affair. And I think I understand Shattenkirk. Frustrating series. Frustrating game. Your defense has completely let Jordan Binnington down on multiple occasions in this one. And we have the reverse dump. Shot saved by Fucale. Can't put Fucale in too many situations like that one. Tara Vinen might have legs for this. Well, that was not who the pass was intended for. It wasn't supposed to go to Bertrand. So this is just a nice, return to fortune for the Canadiens in the Cup Final. I don't know what's going on with this Blues team. They are just so slow. The puck is definitely still there. You can't tell me that it wasn't. I'll fight you right here where you stand. This is Flaming Dragon. I got to see that movie, man. Tropic Thunder. I got to see that movie again. Oh, don't leave the front of the net. We're going to throw this back down low. That's going to whistle well wide, but Mark Stahl takes care of the business. Knocked back to center ice. Matt Duchene dumping it in off the glass. We got the fans behind us now. We are unstoppable. Whoops. Well, I gave Pavelski a hand-me-down breakaway there. Felt bad for the Blues that they weren't getting any breakaways in this series, so I just handed them one. Oh, that's definitely a penalty. That stick 100% came up high. Mark Stahl has been taking care of fools in this game with these hits on the blue line. I'm just playing this game for fun now. I mean, I'm just playing it for fun. I'm going to toy around with the St. Louis Blues for the rest of this game. It's only right that we win this cup. The last time we won it over St. Louis back in Season 8 we didn't get an appropriate Stanley Cup celebration because my controller died. Oh, and that reminds me, I got to plug this controller in before we start the third period so it doesn't die during a potential celebration. We haven't won anything yet, but I don't want that happening again for the second time in a row against St. Louis. Oh, what a move. Almost a second move. I would have had the windmill around Pietrangelo. I told you, I'm just kind of playing with my food now, and it's a really enjoyable experience for me. Trying to help out my goaltender. What if we just all, on a penalty kill, stack up in front of Zach Fucale? Matt Duchene, that's a windmill move around one. That's a stick lift around Ristolainen. He will knock that down. The penalty kill rages on for Montreal. Don't want to let the Blues get back in the game here either, so we kind of need to keep this penalty kill pretty seriously. Take it pretty seriously. Fucale melting it down with 29 to go on the power play. Just end it here. Don't give them any second life. No juice in the veins for the St. Louis Blues. I don't know why you would put juice in your veins. I don't know what kind of juice would the Blues be putting in their veins. Apple juice? Orange juice? Grape juice. Go get me a juice box, biatch. There's another movie quote. That was one of the funniest parts when I was a kid of Zathura. I don't know why I ever thought that was such a funny line. I laughed my ass off at that line as a kid, though. That's cleared. Isn't an icing. It is. It was right at the very end of the PK. Well, I'll tell you this. Fucale's been surprisingly busy in this game. The Blues aren't hesitant to shoot the puck off of the zone entry from just about anywhere. Get okay. Wow, Severson. I guess he wanted a whistle. Don't go doing that to your goaltender and to your team. Get in the lane. I don't like this. The Blues are really, they're not giving up. We are all crowded around Zach Fucale to try to get this puck out. Breakout. It's breakaway time. Breakaway city. Vovoda, one to beat. Oh, man. We're getting there on those one-on-one. Did we take really a slash? What a weak, soft call. Jaskin's been dealt with by Weiss. That was a wonderful hit. You want some more? You want to do it again? I didn't think so. Did we get 2 penalties? We got 1. I came very close to taking a second penalty. Bertrand will go for slashing. Watch the stick right there. It fails. So Bertrand in the box, back to the PK for the 5th time in the game. Somehow we haven't kept the Blues. I mean, if they score, we're keeping these guys on life support. And there it is. And the Blues are still on life support in this game and in this series with a goal from Pietrangelo immediately off the faceoff. They did it in one of the games in St. Louis. They did the exact same thing on the power play. Won a face-off, right back, just chucked it into the back of the net past Fucale. I don't understand the decision to go paddle down right there. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's not a time to go paddle down. We're going to lose this face-off because I was putting my mug back down in the middle of that face-off. So we've been I told you that I was kind of like playing around with this Blues team, and it's time to stop playing around with them. Let's finish the job right here. Get open, Stahl. I was trying to find Mark Stahl, and he did the wrong thing, and then he got covered. That's a lazy pass, intercepted by Laine, taken care of by Hedman. 3 to go. Just send it down the rink. We're going to get into the intermission. We do need to clean a few things up. Number 1, stop taking penalties. No more penalties. Bail out your goaltender. Play for your goalie. Let's start playing in the attacking zone of the St. Louis Blues. I mean, we've had a plethora of breakaways, more than you can ask for in a single game. Make them count. All ready to go. Third period action. We've had 4 breakaways in this game. St. Louis with 2. Look at the rally towels. The fans know they're on their feet. This is the biggest period thus far of the whole season. Time to lock it down. Blues are back in the game. on a goal from Pietrangelo on the power play, literally at the on the first play of the power play late in that previous period. It's time to get it going. We're going to dump the puck in. Do you hear that? Do you hear? I went silent so you could hear that. The fans, they want the cup. Duchesne onside, banked back for Hedman. Look at the ice that opened up for Hedman. Clapped into a maze of bodies. Kuzhwinski trying to stay around it. And we can claim glory. There was a great hip check. That was the glory that we claimed, was the hip check. Tarasenko laid into Hedman. But we can claim glory for I don't even know how many times in the GM mode. What feels like about the 5th time in the GM mode. How many previous Stanley Cup championships do we have? Rollout play. Monahan's taking off the puck. Ristolainen gets it up for the handle from Laine, who goes to Tarasenko. Back to Ristolainen. Dumped in. This is a big period. Just finish the job. We're no strangers to this scenario. Off the glass. Perfectly played to Stromwall. And Brassard gloved down by Jordan Binnington. Uh-oh. Where's Begris? Begris was on an adventure. He was on Adventure Island out there. I hope you're having a fun time. You can save your trips to an island for after the season's done. You can take your vacations later. You don't take your vacation in the middle of the game. We will take another infraction. Begris, his 2nd infraction of this game, in fact, slashing dealt to the Canadiens defenseman. 2 for 5 on the power play. If we lose the face-off, I'm going to be forever pissed. We did. We got tied up, shot immediately. I mean, the Blues don't hesitate to shoot that puck off the face-off. So that's something we got to go to school on. Win those face. That was a near costly turnover for Jordan Binnington. Win those face-offs, get the puck out of the zone. We can't give them any life here. Clear. And he does. Stahl clears to center. Shattenkirk under pressure from Duchesne at center ice. Or that might be Voivoda with Kuzhwinski out here. It might be Voivoda shooting. No, it's taken back to the point now. Ristolainen. I thought we were going to have another potential breakaway. That is sticked aside. Stahl clears the full length of the ice. It reaches in front of Binnington. Shattenkirk plays it off to Pietrangelo on the side. Tarasenko by the benches to the red line into the Canadian zone. Laxo pushed into the bench forcefully by Sean Monahan. But the Blues maintain the possession in the Canadian zone. Weiss up to Pacioretty. He'll windmill to the outside. Gets space into Binnington on the deke. That will be a whistle with 18 to go on the St. Louis power play. Biggest power play of the game so far. Mark Stahl, I can tell you about this guy. It's no surprise to me that he leads the NHL in hits. He's been a big body, a heavy presence. I kind of felt that from the very drop of the puck on Game 1 of Round 1 against Toronto. I kind of felt that Stahl was going to be an important piece of this team. An aging veteran at 37 years old, number 30 on your defense core. He's out here killing this penalty right now. One last shot at it for Stahl. Claimed in a trade out of desperation with D injuries back in the regular season. Oh my, and we pull it right back onto the blade of Laine. We got a 3-3 game. The Bell Center falls dead silent. Leon Laine scores again in this series. It was Tarasenko the first time we met St. Louis in the final. It's Leon Laine this time around, and we just sweep the puck right to him. With a wide open cage, no one's going to miss that one. It's nervous time now. Nervous energy for the Habs. The Blues scored 2 goals in succession from coming out of the last period and here into the third to make it a tie game in the Stanley Cup final, Game 5. They're not going away quietly. He got hit as he was shooting that puck. Wow, look at that. Kamayev is wide open, and we totally missed. So the 4 breakaways we've had so far, not that they haven't meant nothing for us, but we haven't done enough with the breakaway chances we have had. We're dumping it in. So we got to get back to playing simple hockey. You know, I kind of took it for granted. We had that lead. We were dominating this team. Oh, that was not even supposed to be for Stromwall. We got to get back to playing simple hockey. I was kind of playing with my food, like I said, looking for breakaways and cheap opportunities on the net. We got to play a serious game now. We got to start locking this down. The net. Okay. I just got flashbacks to Carey Price against the Rangers back in 2014. Zach Fucale was laying all over the ice. It didn't look good. You don't run into my goaltender. And the Habs fans, they have a lot to say about Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider is not a friend to Montreal Canadiens fans. And so, was that Perron that did that? Perron's going to he's going to hear from the virtual Habs fans in a moment. I got to flip this out. Center ice. Opportunity. Knocked down. That's yours, LeBlanc. We're battling Pietrangelo. Good stick lift. Stay after this. We're in the hunt, and we want to be a part of the hunt for the rest of this game. And I don't want to go back to St. Louis. Wrap it up now. And it trickled wide. That was Jaskin that had the look. Deflection again. Cover it right here, Fucale. No more chances for St. Louis. We need a fight. You know what? We had a fight earlier in this game. And look at Victor Hedman getting into one. We had a fight earlier in this game. It may have swayed the tide in favor of the St. Louis Blues. I'm so nervous now for this third period. This is the game where it's like shit just got real. When the Blues tied it, that's where we're at now. Things just got real with this team. We're losing these face-offs, and you know what they're doing? They're running little miniature picks on the ice when we lose the face-off, and then we can't get out on that point shot. Okay, I've seen enough. St. Louis means business, man. They're not going away quietly. We keep missing passes. Flipping it all the way down the ice. See how aggressive they are with that forecheck? I don't even want them to establish their forecheck. Okay. You know what? I should have to fight for that. Kudrwinski should have to fight for that. That was pretty illegal. I mean, he held nothing back on that forecheck. He didn't think it was going to be an icing. I may have actually gotten away with a penalty. Because they have 39 shots, dude, we're getting taken to task by this Blues team. Holy jeez. Yeah, the problem is we just can't break out of our own zone. There's a block shot. Begris needs to just sit. He just needs to sit for this game. I'm changing to a diamond PK. You need to sit, Begris. You suck. Another penalty in this game. You need to think long and hard. Long and hard. That's what she said. You need to think about your actions, buddy. 12 of their shots have come on the power play. It's crazy. They're getting a chunk of their shots they have like 40 shots on goal to this point. And a chunk of them are actually coming at 5-on-5 at even strength. We're not doing enough offensively. Back to the point, shot. Yep, I'll take that. It's a weak one. It's a little in between Bennington's legs there. Nope. Don't get in trouble, Monahan. You can do one slash and skate away. You can start something after the whistle, but we're shorthanded. We don't need any stupid penalties here. Nothing unnecessary. Weiss, load the gun. Back down low. Absolutely. Jump up on that, Severson. Well, he at least tied his guy up. Okay, I'll fork that on net as well. It's a good possession. I'll take that. That's a good possession. If we're gonna lose this game, number one, I'm gonna be pissed. But let's at least try to lose it with some honor. Stop taking penalties. Play a hard game. Okay, well, we don't even need to worry about losing this game. Victor Hedman scores off the face-off. We'll win this game with honor. Short-handed, and I can score with the special teams right off the face-off from my defenseman as well, St. Louis. You're not the only ones that have the ability to do that. I didn't see. Was this Victor Hedman's first goal of the playoffs? How many has he had in the postseason? It popped up there when it showed the graphic, but I didn't pay attention to it. It's a shorthanded goal for Hedman off the face-off. That's big. That's a huge lift for this Canadian squad. Stanley Cup Final, Game 5. Cup in the building, might I remind you, on the line. 3-1 series lead for the Canadiens. Trying to finish the job right here. Hedman on that play defensively. Oh, they ring the bar. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, you can't play with this Blues power play. They've been pretty dangerous against us. And I think our penalty kill, in some ways, it's been lacking in certain departments on this penalty kill. If that goes in, that's a right play. Line A, number 90 for St. Louis. He was all over that. One slash, and I'm skating away. Get out of here, Line A. You don't want any. I just scored a shorthanded goal on your team, son. What you gonna do about that? Suck those eggs. Oh my goodness, man. I was in the middle of drinking my coffee. What an unreal shot from Tarasenko, and he just missed. He just missed, man. That's a break of all breaks. Jaskin off the face-off. No big surprises there. Net's been jarred free by Damon Severson. He's faced 41 shots in this game. That's the save percentage I needed out of Fucale. That's more realistic, more appropriate. Face-off wins, Severson. If they can't shoot it if you actually win the face-off. They can't establish the shot if they never get possession of it in the first place off the face-off. So we got to do a better job. I love Max Weiss because even if he's a penalty-taking demon, you know who the penalty-taking demon is Begers in this game. That's who the penalty-taking demon really is. Weiss can just, he thumps people. I mean, he does way more than thump people. He sends them to a different dimension when he hits people. And they wake up and they don't even know where they are. They don't even know that they're playing hockey. Duchesne, 5-3 game. There's the cup. Duchesne always scores in these. What a great shot that is of Duchesne. And the crowd. This guy shows up in all the big games. He might win the Conn Smythe again. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Duchesne wins yet another Conn Smythe. I don't know how this puck found him. He is the captain forever. Duchesne we should keep him around until he retires. I don't know how old he is. I want to say he's like 32, 33. And we should just keep him around. He should retire as a Hab. He's given this team so much glory since we acquired him in the trade. Okay, muffled save by Jordan Bennington on the dump in. This is just a phase of the game where you put it to bed. Just put the game to bed. Begers played back to center ice. Begers has had a game to forget. But you know what? If he comes away as a Stanley Cup champion, he's not going to think about it. I laid that with a saucer pass right on the blade for Teravainen. Nicely done. Voivoda with a cutback move against Laine. Leon Laine to Albin. Oh, that'll deflect off the skate of Voivoda, who we haven't really heard from in this playoff. I don't know if Voivoda's gotten on the score sheet in this playoff. Been pretty okay. Is that not a penalty on Laine? Up to Duchesne. Okay, I'm going to make your team pay for those hits. Dumped in. Bennington caught out of the air off this stick of Matt Duchesne. No, Duchesne's not fighting you. We got the cup. We got the cup. Go sit down. Go pout. Go sit in your corner. Duchesne should send him the timeout. You got a long off season to take some of that rage out on, buddy. Oh man, the controller died, but at least it didn't die during the cup celebration. I'm not trying to get, well, there's going to be a cup celebration. You're not erasing this deficit. We're winning the cup full stop, 100%. Kujawenski played down low for Pacioretty. He's in a, okay! He was in a stick lifting battle. That's going to salt on the wound for the St. Louis Blues. Max Pacioretty, if there was ever any doubt, he's up to double digits on goals in a multi-goal game. Who's taking the Conn Smythe trophy? Bennington didn't help himself out. He went for a poke check right there, and it goes right back to the stick. Okay, off the net, off the skate, and in. Fortuitous bounces there ever was for Max Pacioretty. We're going to go into Season 12 as the Stanley Cup champions. Once again in the GM mode. I have built a complete weapon of a hockey team. No! Yeah! Oh, Monahan! Go get your goal! Monahan's had an impressive playoff run as well. So many of these guys have earned their keep with this team. They deserve to stick around and be a part of it again going into next season. And Brassard might... Okay, Brassard's going to the box. He might retire at the end of the season, but he will finish this championship in the penalty box. Kind of embarrassing. Oh, Mark Stahl's going to finish it in the penalty box as well. Oh, these guys were out for blood. Look at this hit. That was vicious. I don't know. The emotions were riding too high for those two players. It wasn't enough that they're going to win the championship. We got to finish these. We got to kill. They have a kill order. Mark Stahl certainly had a kill order. How about the game from Oh, I thought we were going to have a breakaway. I really genuinely thought we were going to have a breakaway. Well, Max Weiss, you're going to become a Stanley Cup champion with these Canadiens. Up and over for old time's sake. That was supposed to be a deke. Which Monahan on this playoff run has scored 2 sick up and over goals using that up and over deke. The one hop. Is it a highlight reel? No, it's just Ty Ratty being denied by Zach Fucale on the deflection attempt with this 5-on-3, carrying to the end of the game. Well, that was a tough block for Severson to get that shot blocked. Well, the Habs fans, you know, this is the pain of that loss to Edmonton in Game 7 makes this victory all the much more sweeter. Oh, it's behind you? It's behind and laid on. This game's over, but it's simultaneously not really over yet. 36 to go, still in the game. Well, Tarasenko's trying his hardest. He wants to just find a way to break past Fucale. I was thinking about adding Tarasenko. You could be a part of this. I was going to try to trade for him after we beat the Blues in that Stanley Cup final. Go for it, Monahan. You got the green light, buddy. There's the up and over. Oh, you know what? Never mind. It's not even worth trying to start the fight over. That was well defended. Yaskin. Get it up to Monahan. I want to try one more time with Sean Monahan. Up and over Deke. It was on the blade for a moment. Pietrangelo up to Yaskin. This series is over. Blocker to side. We are going to be Cup champions again. Series win in 5 games. 4-1 series victory. Zach Fucale is now a Cup champion. Max Weiss joins this team for a championship win. Mark Stahl and Bertrand finished their seasons in the penalty box. Or was it? No, it wasn't Bertrand. It was Brassard. And look at the face of Pietrangelo there. It looks like he has lipstick on his face. We'll shake hands with the St. Louis Blues. But this time, we defeat them in our barn. Shattenkirk and Duchesne exchange a friendly gesture. Who won the Conn Smythe Trophy? Is it really? It's Max Pacioretty. I was in the middle of burping in that sentence. 10 goals and 26 points, and I'm still burping. Well, this time we're actually going to get the Cup celebration after defeating St. Louis as opposed to last time. And these never get old. It never gets old to win the championship. Matt Duchesne, come on down one more time as the captain. Going to hoist this thing loud and proud in the air. The feeling never fades for any of these Canadiens. They've done it so. How many times is Duchesne a Cup champion in this game world that we've built here? This team, I told you, I have built a weapon of a hockey team that can very seldom be stopped. Who is that? That's Niederreiter. Hands it off to Pacioretty, your Conn Smythe winner. It will next go to... Who is that? I can't tell who any of these players are. That looks like Mark Stahl. He will ride off into the sunset, assuredly, with that championship. A great ad from the Dallas Stars in the regular season after a bunch of injuries at D. And it continues for the Canadiens. Are we back on dynasty mode again? I felt like the dynasty had faded for this team. But this squad proves otherwise, that they can still get it done and they're still hungry for more. Still wish that Marchand and PK Subban could be a part of this team.
Those long phone calls, words began to slur. This phone call I'm making, distance is not worth taking. This direction I'm heading, let's toast to new beginnings. Now that's 1, 2, and everyone else knew. Just blame the night.
Hey, the owner is happy. Only one team can be the champ. Well, you're right about that. And how many times have we been the champ? Oh, the contract. Well, yeah, I'm going to stick around for sure. I definitely want to stay. I mean, the whole point of the Habs GM mode is for me to remain with the Montreal Canadiens. There you go. Montreal, we're sticking around as the Habs GM mode. It's a no-brainer because this is the Canadiens GM mode. So Su Kai Ming was not a part of the Stanley Cup celebration, and he wasn't in the lineup for the game. He was injured for the last two games in the series. I need to save this GM mode. Playoffs have ended. Cup champions Montreal Canadiens. Calder Cup goes to the Worcester, or however you pronounce that, Sharks. The Sharks there win in the AHL. They win the cup. Loic Arnaud has won the Hart. So, wow, there you go. My created player, Loic Arnaud, Hart Trophy winner as league MVP. We know that already. And we're going to take a look at the awards as I've spoiled that one for you. Salary cap information for what will be season 12 just on the screen. So it's here. Up first and foremost, the awards for the first time in a couple of seasons. We're back on top. At the top of the mountain, Montreal Canadiens, Stanley Cup champions again. How many in the GM mode I've lost? You know what? We can look at it in a moment and I can tell you how many we've won. President's Trophy, the Coyotes 3 years in a row win the President's Trophy. Not a single Stanley Cup final appearance in any of those years. I don't even know if they won the President's Trophy the year that they did win the Cup. Clarence S. Campbell, it was Blues, Oilers, Avalanche, Blues again. So we faced the Blues in that 2021 Stanley Cup final and won as well on their home ice. The Prince of Wales Trophy back in the hands of the Montreal Canadiens after 1 year off, where it went to the Ottawa Senators. So it's been a Canadian team coming out of the East those 4 seasons in a row. Loic Arnaud, my created player, Art Ross Trophy winner. He led the league in scoring. The Hart goes to Loic Arnaud, most valuable player. The Norris to Hedman. Hedman won the Norris Trophy. There you go. There's a Canadiens player winning some hardware. Loic Arnaud taking home some big-time hardware this year. He is a big player for that Coyotes team. I wanted to face him in the final. They got to the West Final, and they lost to St. Louis. So we were very close to seeing this Yotes team in the final. He takes home the Lady Byng Trophy. The Calder goes to Cameron Stoner. What a last name there. So with Nashville, Stoner, I'm not sure what position he plays, but he is the Rookie of the Year. The Conn Smythe goes to Max Pacioretty, his first Conn Smythe trophy in the GM mode. Duchesne has won it a handful of times for this Canadiens team. Vezina, back-to-back years to Stanley Denny of the San Jose Sharks. The William M. Jennings to Eskalainen and Harry Sateri. That is truly the pronunciation. What a rhyme there for your first and last name. We ran into Eskalainen in the final when we played Winnipeg, and that guy scared the crap out of me. I really thought we were going to struggle to beat that Jets team because of the goaltending they got from Eskalainen. Simone Dupre wins the Bill Masterton. The Selke 4 years in a row. Connor McDavid. He's better at winning the Selke Trophy than he is at winning the scoring title. Now, that being said, McDavid is consistently every year since he's joined the NHL in this GM mode, he has been at the top of the scoring title race. He's been right in the mix, so he's very good on all sides of the puck. But 4 freaking Selke trophies in a row is incredible. Loic Arnaud, the Ted Lindsay as well. Arnaud is a piece of a machine. In this GM mode, he is carrying that Coyotes team on his back. If he ever leaves, that Coyotes team will never live. They will live to regret it for the rest of their lives. Jonathan Drouin, a Richard Trophy again after taking quite a few years off from winning the Richard Trophy. It was McDavid a season ago. And we're back to the top of the awards screen. Playoff tree wrap-up in 5 games. Canadiens over the Blues. I thought it was in 6 games. The first time we faced St. Louis, which again was Season 8. We meet them again here in Season 11. The East playoff bracket. What a series with New Jersey. That was the best series of the whole playoffs, actually. That was the most competitive playoff round I played. We go through the Leafs in 5, a sweep of the Sens. That was a fun series with Ottawa, though, even though it was a sweep, but the real competitive series was with New Jersey. What the Blues did to get here, St. Louis over Nashville in 7, a sweep of Anaheim, 6 games over Phoenix, that close to meeting this brilliant Coyotes team in the Cup final. McDavid still has yet to take the Canucks to the Stanley Cup final. They got swept by Phoenix in that second round after barely winning out over PK Subban and the LA Kings in 7 games. So this was a championship, first championship that we've won that has not had PK Subban on it, and also without Brad Marchand on the roster, as Marchand is in Pittsburgh, Subban is now in LA. Marchand departed via free agency. We trade PK to Los Angeles. So that's the recap of how those two players got there. Final line for the Cup champion Canadiens and your Conn Smythe winner, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Max Pacioretty, 10 goals, 26 points in 20 games, a big-time performer this time around. This is the best we've gotten out of Max Pacioretty. This team was heavily in the positive on plus-minus. I'll show all the plus-minus in a moment. This is all skaters sorted by points. Matt Duchene with 11 goals, 23 points. Kujawenski, Monahan, Hedman, Ming, who of course missed the last handful of games, the last 2 games of the final. He was injured, so we didn't have Su Kai Ming in the celebration because he was in the press box in a suit and tie in his street clothes. You know, Ming, if it was the real world, he would get dressed. If he couldn't play, he'd put his gear on and come out and celebrate with the team. That's I remember with Carolina specifically, just going back to 2006, Doug Weight separated his shoulder in the Stanley Cup final against Edmonton. I remember the hit, too. I know the exact play that it happened on. And I have a whole funny story about Doug Weight I'll tell as well since I'm here. But he separated his shoulder. He couldn't play in the final. And I think it was in Game 2 that he had his shoulder separated, or it may have been Game 5. I think it was Game 5 that he separated his shoulder. But I know the play, and he couldn't play in Game 7. But I remember Doug Weight, he suited up and came out and celebrated. He could barely lift the cup. He lifted it, but he could barely lift it. My family, we go to the cup celebration when they had the parade, and it was a huge parade. Doug Weight and all the players came by. They were hanging out of the back of cars and pickup trucks and stuff. And Doug Weight comes by. My sister goes to give Doug Weight a slap on the hand, and she slaps him. She's like 9 years old or whatever at this time, and she slaps him in the hand. And I knew that Doug Weight had an injury to his upper body. At the time, I didn't know exactly what it was, but he had a separated shoulder. So she slaps him, and Weight almost fell over from that slap. That is a true story, total true story. My sister almost knocked Doug Weight off of the vehicle that he was standing on as they were coming through on the cup parade. So anyway, Ming would have dressed and celebrated with the team despite his bruised arm. He was playing through an injured arm, or didn't play through an injured arm. He was out with an injured arm. So there's all the numbers. I just want to get the numbers in the video just so we have them. And now what I'm going to do is, for all of my key cornerstone pieces of the team, we'll look at the age. So Pacioretty, 35, man. With 2 years left, do you think Pacioretty retires at 35? I mean, that's right around the age that some players would retire. But there's all the stats from the regular season, and here's the playoff stats from the past few appearances. Just 5 games played, of course, with the elimination in the first round to Boston, the last time we made it in. But there's he actually outdid himself. He gets 10 goals, 26 points in 20 games, as opposed to 24 games before that. So it was, what was his contract? $5.9 million. That could come off the books if he retires. Matt Duchene, 33. I nailed it. He is 33 years old, and this was the last year of his current deal. But he's the captain. He's a big game performer, and honestly deserves to get at least a 3-year contract and retire as a Canadian. I'd even give him 4. We'll have to revisit all this in the offseason. It will be an interesting offseason with Matt Duchene, but his playoff stats, 20 games played, 23 points. He had 29 and 13 goals in 24 games. That is unreal. No wonder he won the Conn Smythe Trophy that year. Ryan Kujawenski, what did he do? He's 29 years old with 2 years left on that current contract. Regular season stats and playoff stats right here. 22 points, 14 goals. That is unreal, but he did have a few hat tricks en route to winning the Stanley Cup. So he had a few hat trick games. That's why he has 14 goals. Unbelievable. Definitely the best goal scoring forward on the team in the playoffs was Ryan Kujawenski, the Kuju Voodoo. So Sean Monahan, who was acquired off of waivers way long ago, has been a wonderful depth center. He's how old now? 29, probably, his potential's still super high. He could grow, but he might be one of those super late bloomers. Maybe he grows, but it's highly unlikely now that he's almost at the age of 30. 20 points in 20 games. Can't ask for much more out of a guy that's basically playing third line center. Victor Hedman, and now I don't want to spend too much more time on this. Regular season, playoff stats, and I'm not really going to go over these too much in detail. Just 2 goals for Hedman on the playoffs with 1 year left on the deal. And he was how old? 33. That's going to be a tough one to revisit in the summer. Do we want to bring Hedman back? Su Kai-Ming, 28 years young, 4 years left. We signed him to a super long contract when he was due to be re-signed way long ago, and now down to the last 4 years on that deal. There's the playoff stats for Ming. I'm not going to go over this, like I said, in detail, but just show all the stats so it's in the video, so it's on the screen. Season stats for Begris. Man, it's slow. I hate when it's slow like that. And the playoff stats, 15 points, 20 games, not bad for my defenseman. Mark Stahl joins the fold, 37 years old. It was a 1 year contract that we acquired, like I said, from Dallas. Just needed to add something on the blue line. He was like an 87 overall when he joined the team. He's already fallen down to an 86. Obviously not bringing back Mark Stahl. It was a 1 year glory run for Mark Stahl, who had probably the most impressive playoffs of any defenseman, probably in the whole league, and certainly for our team. Niederreiter is still on a 2 year deal, so he's not expiring anytime real soon for this team. And we got him in the trade with Minnesota in season 10. I think it was. Brassard claimed off of waivers during the regular season after Carolina put him down on waivers, and he was a great ad. Wonderful depth option for us. Ended up sliding into my top 6, I think, for some of that playoffs. Damon Severson, 1 year left. As an 87 overall player at the age of 29, that's an easy return for me to bring him back as long as the contract isn't too egregious, because I don't know what kind of cap space we're going to be operating with. Ronning will be due for a new contract. There's the numbers for Louis LeBlanc. He's been here since basically the very beginning of the GM mode. And he never grew much beyond an 85, 86, I think. He never really reached a high 80s player, and that's fine with me despite the potential. Tamernis's potential has fallen off quickly, and I think this was the last go around for Henrik Tamernis. We got him in the trade. Vancouver offered him, and if he wants a cheap deal, I'm talking taking a discount, less than $4.555 million. I might bring him back if he wants a cheap deal, but he is dropping off quickly. So we'll revisit Tamernis in the offseason. Teravainen, was it a multi-year deal that I gave Tavo? Yes, I gave him a 2 year, $1.1 million. That's saving me some money there. Bertrand, 33 years old. This was a great pickup in free agency during the offseason, last offseason. He was an extra forward. That's all that he was. He ends up actually playing 60 games as an extra forward for this team. Very productive for us. Max Weiss, yeah, I gave him that a little bit longer deal. My created defenseman for the GM mode, for the draft classes. He's actually an undrafted player. Somehow ended up in free agency. I pick him up, and he adds tremendous size to our blue line and a lot of physicality. Another one of my created players. Basically, I gave him that 8 year, $1.6 million deal, and he took it. He locked up that security with that contract. 26 years young, created player, Lucas Vovoda, who we did draft, and we've been waiting on this guy, and he's basically just playing fourth line. He's been a decent fourth line player, 13 goals, but he never scored in the playoffs. Not a single goal out of Vovoda, playing on my fourth line, of course, in the playoffs. Stromwall gets in the 5 games in the postseason, and there's his regular season numbers, his postseason numbers, 29 years young, still 2 years left on the contract. And now we will take a look at the goaltending. So my goalies, Jones did get in there for a little bit of action, but it was mostly on Zach Vicali. He played all 20 games, actually. So Jones was just in relief for some of the bad games that Vicali had, which were not too many in number. The save percentage for the playoffs was below a .900 save percentage for Zach Vicali. We did sign him a while ago to a long-term 8 year deal. No, it was a shorter deal. I thought it was a 3 year deal. It was $8 million, and that was signed when I still had Carey Price on my team. And then we offloaded Price to free agency. I could not afford to bring Carey Price back, paying Vicali $8 million and being tight against the cap as it is. So he is the goaltender going forward. I would have liked to have locked up Fucale on an 8-year deal at $8 million, but my hands were a little bit tied on that front. And the last thing, before we wrap up this video for Season 11, before we get on to Season 12, the stats, the overall statistics from the GM mode going back from Season 1 to now. 10 years, or 11 years, I'm sorry, 11 seasons of GM mode competition. We have only failed to make the playoffs twice in the GM mode. Season 1, we win the cup. We're bounced in the second round in Season 2. Season 3, we missed the playoffs. Season 4, we win the cup over the Avalanche. This Season 5, we did not qualify. Then we won 3 straight championships. I believe it was Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis. Is that the order that it went in? We lose in the Stanley Cup final here in the 2021 season to the Edmonton Oilers, bounced in the first round by the Boston Bruins in 5 games, back to the Cup final again against the St. Louis Blues. So we defeat the Blues twice on our way to Stanley Cup championships. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 championships. Not 5, 6 of them in the GM mode. We officially got dirty for 30. We got our 30th franchise Stanley Cup championship. Dirty for 30. I never used that slogan in the entire playoff run because I just totally went past my mind. That was the slogan during the 2021 simulation or playoff run when we faced the Oilers, and we never achieved that greatness as we dumped all over ourselves in Game 7 against Edmonton. So this has been a largely successful GM mode. Like I said, the Canadiens that I have put together are a machine. They just don't stop. We keep grinding away. We can get bounced in the Cup final. We can get bounced in the first round, but we find a way right back to glory. And the glory run is not done, as this is just Season 11. We are, like I said, going up to 15 seasons just to see the growth of a few players and see if we can... How many cups can we win in 15 seasons? That's become the new objective for the GM mode. We'll be back for the Season 12 off-season.